This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master. This show is here to dive deeper into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in Aerde Tales. Today we will be discussing the genus of reptiles, which includes Gorgons and some other species. So let's get started talking about them. They're the lizard people of the world of Aerde. So the first one let's talk about, and the reptiles really, not just lizards, but reptiles. So the first species we're going to talk to is the Dortakas, which are the turtle and tortoise people of Aerde. Their average height is about 6'10", and their average lifespan is 150. But they can live all the way to into the 320s. They are omnivores, and their coloration, they have various greens and darker colors, but some other colors may appear. They don't usually have too much hair visibly, and the shell size and thickness varies from the Dortaka's subspecies to subspecies. Some Dortakas are better adapted for land, and while some are better adapted for a semi-aquatic lifestyle. No Dortaka can hide in their shell. That's just a myth. They can't pull themselves into their shell. Alright, so let's go to the next species. That's the dregs. And also, in all of these reptiles, they give egg birth. They give birth via egg. They lay an egg, and then it hatches. So they're all in the family of ovos. So the dregs here, these are the bipedal dragon-like lizard people. They can have wings. They don't normally do, but some of them do. And their average height is about 6'5". That wing trait that I was saying, that some of them have wings, that's a recessive trait, so it's very rare. Their average lifespan is about 83 years old, and they're carnivores and also osteophagy, which means they eat bones too. So they eat bones and maybe raw meat, mainly raw meat, but they can also have cooked meat and sometimes even spoiled meat. Colorations are various greens and darker colors, but any color could appear as well. Their skin is very thick and has scales. Also, the Dortakas have thick skin and scales. They also usually don't have that much hair. Once again, very rarely does these group have wings. So then we have furbins, which are lizard people of Aerde that average about 2'8". So they're short lizard people. Their average lifespan is about 50 years old. They eat the same thing where they're eating. They're carnivores and they eat osteophagy as well. They eat via osteophagy as well, meaning they eat bones. Their coloration and everything is much like everybody else's that we're talking about today. They also shed their skin 1 to 2 times a year. It can get very itchy. These individuals are also, once again, bipedal. All the ones we're talking about right now are bipedal. Now on to the Gorgons. So these individuals, their top half is humanoid, but their bottom half is like a snake. So if you think of like Medusa, she would have been a Gorgon in this world. And so, speaking of Medusa, they have a recessive trait that has snake hair. It's very, very rare. And also very, very rare is they could have the snake hair and then have human legs. So, super rare stuff. So their average height, if you measure them all the way to the tip of their tail to the top of their head, would be 7'3". Their average lifespan is about 73. Once again, same thing, carnivores and osteophagy. And they also shed their skin 1 to 2 times a year on the bottom half that's a snake. So now let's go on to the species of Gorgons, which are the bipedal crocodile or alligator people of Aerde. Their average height is about 7'4", average lifespan about 77. Once again, same eating, carnivore, osteophagy, thick skin, scales, and they also have really good vision. They also have a special adaptation where they have 2 eyelids. One allows them to see underwater a lot better. Alright, so then lastly we have the Scalas, which is the average height lizard people. And so their average height is about 5'10", and they live average lifespan about 77 years old. These are various different lizards and stuff like that. They could be, if you looked up a type of lizard on Earth right now, there's probably going to be a individual that's a Scala that looks like that on Aerde, but is a bipedal person that can talk and have deep complex thoughts and stuff and is sentient. So that's what a Scala would be. And they also shed their skin 1 to 2 times a year. And so I know this is a short episode, but that brings us to the end of it. And on the next episode of Aerde Talks, we're going to dive deeper into another group of sentient species of Aerde, specifically the genus of Megalanias, which includes dragons, wyverns, worms, and some more. And I hope you have a wonderful day. So let's take care of some housekeeping. Our adventurers encounter magical items, so I want to invite everyone to visit patreon.com/Looney Studios, and there's a link to that in the description. On the front page, there is a link to a Google form where anyone can submit an idea for a magical item. Anyone can do that. You don't have to be a patron. You can do this anonymously, or you could put your name or username on it to receive credit if we use it. Please add to this list. We love getting magical items or them finding magical items in the game. Well, while you're there, you could also check out Looney Studios' Patreon. And if you become a patron, you gain access to this podcast early, among other perks. And speaking of Patreon, I would like to thank one of our new patrons. Her name is Kylie. Thank you for being a patron. And thank you for supporting Looney Studios and Aerde Tales. Looney Studios also can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit those magical items on our Patreon. The Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.